everyone, welcome back to Sports Kabri. Hi Nava, Arun Foot as well. So big news for BFC and Bengaluru FC fans. Simon Grayson has officially departed the club, and the news came in yesterday, which was Saturday morning, and very interesting news because I first of all I think a lot of fans saw it coming on the back of several poor performances. We didn't get the results that we needed this season. We're struggling in the ISL. We're ninth, and it's just not been the best of starts to the season. Something that happened last year as well. And I'd come to you firstly, Arnav. Were you expecting Simon to leave on the back of those performances?
Hello, Rahul, and hello to everyone who's watching this pod from us. After that 0-4 against Mumbai City, I think it was inevitable to happen. I think we've been talking for it for a while. We even thought that maybe in the summer, a change of coach might have helped BFC. But again, one cannot forget the success that Simon Grayson had last season, winning the Durand Cup, getting to the final of the ISL, getting to the final of the Super Cup. So that's, for BFC, even for BFC standards, that's good, very good. But if you see the team, if you see, the lack of progression, I would say, the way BFC was playing, it was not BFC-like. It's like the same we would say most probably about Goa and Mumbai City, who take a wait-and-watch approach and then, play a different kind of football, which wouldn't suit them. And here, that was the matter. You brought in some good reinforcements in the summer. Ryan Williams, whenever he's played, has been good. He's been picking up before the injury. Damjanovic, a solid defender who's shown at other ISL teams what he can do. Holicharan has needed his time. He was injured. Rohit Danu as well. So you've had these players over there, right? Suresh, Rohit playing regular in national team. Sivasakti fell dramatically off after the end of the season, and he's not really gotten him back to that form that was one of the reasons why BFC really got into the ISL finals. And then with, Sunil also not being as sharp as he has been in the past. So all of these factors then come in, and then, disappointing matches, disappointing losses. And I think, the final straw was this 0-4 against Mumbai City FC, which could have ended in an even higher loss. One has to be honest about that. If it could have gone to 6, 7 or 8. And that is not BFC-like.
I said, let's just go back a year. Simon Grayson comes in. BFC have not had the best of seasons. What was the expectation, you think, from the coach when he just entered the club?
I think a manager like Simon Grayson brings a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge. But the question is, does he fit into the philosophy and the style of BFC? And that would have been my question. And 1.5 years later, I would say most probably no. If you think that you brought Albert Roca back as a technical advisor, you had a lot of upheaval towards the end of last year. Mandar Tamane leaving, Darren Caldera installed as head of football. A lot of changes for the club. And again, on the field, it was successful in regard to results. And results is amongst the most important things in football.
Yeah.
But I think for a lot of clubs also, it is also about the style and what you play and what you stand for. And I think it was very, very clear from that tweet on Friday evening, just minutes after the game from Park Jindal, that Simon Grayson's time was over. They waited till Saturday morning to make it official. But I think to anyone and everyone is very, very clear that there was no future for Simon Grayson at the club. And this is something where I go back is the management needs to ask itself, could it have acted earlier? And I feel, again, afterwards, or in hindsight, as many people will say, it's always easier to say this way. But again, go back to our old podcasts in the summer when we also previewed BFC, or even a few weeks ago when we were talking about which coach is going to get fired first. Simon Grayson was always up there in that list. So therefore, it doesn't come as a surprise in the end. It's just the way it came against Mumbai City with the 0-4 is very hard and very harsh on BFC.
Yeah. Arnav, I think we spoke about this. At least I've said it because I think Simon Grayson tried to play football this season. Do you think he would have been better served to have stuck to what he was sort of doing well last season, which was a solid defensive line, get the numbers behind the ball and then hit on the counter, do you think he would have been better served to have, if he had stuck to that tactic rather than trying to play expansive football, which is probably not his strong suit?
Afterwards, it's always easier to speak about these things, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I guess on one side one could say yes, but the question is how do you also utilize your foreigners, right? You can play 4 out of 6. Curtis Main hasn't fired really so far. So again, another foreign striker with a very good pedigree coming to BFC, who's not firing. Ryan Williams, we've spoken about, was getting better and better, and then he got injured. Veendorp, who I said before the season, I felt is a very, very smart signing, but you're not utilizing him really properly, and I felt. And then your question about centre backs with Damjanovic and Jovanovic. Who do you play? And sometimes you have to play both, right? Sandesh Jingan gone. Shankar, is he really up to the mark? Paras, is he really up to the mark? And that's also one of the reasons why Simon has moved away from a 3-man backline to a 4-man backline, right? Jessel Canero has been in and out as well. I thought was a very good signing. Has played well the last few years in Kerala Blasters, but somehow or the other, Rohit Kumar had a very strong second half of last season, right? Rohit Kumar seems to be a shadow of himself at the moment, sadly. So all these factors just add up. So you've not been able to keep the players. Shiva Shakti, another one. Injuries, of course, also play a part. But you somehow haven't been able to keep your team to that level that BFC needs. I would rather say here. And the team has sort of been dropping. And you can't even get it to a normal level to say, listen, we're at least sure to qualify for the top 6.
Yeah.
That's the challenge. I think BFC not qualifying for the top 6 would be a surprise. But on the other side, at the moment, again, choice of coach will be very interesting one. Who replaces Simon Grayson? Does Albert Roca come himself and put himself into the hot seat? Or does he stay in the boardroom and say, listen, I'm going to bring in someone Spanish with maybe a BFC background? Will be very interesting to see.
Yeah. Again, I just want to put a little word for Simon Grayson for what he sort of left behind in Bangalore, and I think he's given the fans some great memories. A lot of late goals last season, so that I'm sure a lot of fans will remember for a while. Some interesting nights. Of course, the games against Mumbai were probably amongst the best that BFC has seen at the Kanteerava. So that, I think, sort of will live on in memory when we think about Simon Grayson. The 3 finals in a season, never done it. So that's another thing that he's sort of left behind. But I think most importantly, lovely guy, and spoke well, and he said he's left a message for the fans, and it sort of shows the person that he was. He was always came out nicely, spoke well, and that's how he left. And I'm sure a lot of BFC fans would love to see him back in Bangalore. Probably not as a coach, but if he ever does end up in India, they would love. I'm sure they'd welcome him to the stadium and to the stands if Grayson ever wants to join in. But yeah, so that's I think something that I would just want to say about Simon Grayson now that he's gone. I don't know what's next for BFC. Who do you see coming in now?
Someone who fits into the BFC philosophy. I think that's something which BFC left. They've had some problems. Again, Marco Pezzaioli could have been mentioned. I felt was settling in. I think I would have given Marco another season. Roshan is one of the examples of the players that have come up through him. But again, that's also history. Simon Grayson in the end didn't really work out. One name being dropped quite often, Gerard Zaragoza is a former BFC assistant coach. Might be interesting to see. So I guess BFC at the moment via Albert Roca is scouting Spanish / Catalonia / Barcelona market most probably. To try and find someone suitable to BFC who hopefully can get the best out of this team, because this team has a lot of potential and it's not really playing to its potential.
Yeah, okay. So that I think that's the hope. I think we're sort of looking forward to that Spanish style coach, nice and sort of neat on the ball, keep the ball and move it along the ground, and hopefully we get that and things change at Kanteerava. The interesting part in all of this is, weirdly, despite the poor start, BSC are still very, very close to the top 6 because of how teams have sort of performed around them. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens from now. And yeah, BFC fans, we're hoping for the best. Again, thanks, Arnav, for this short chat on Simon Grayson's departure. And yeah, please let us know what you guys think about Simon Grayson's spell at Bengaluru and who BFC's next potential coach could be. Again, please like and share these videos, subscribe to the channels, Sports Khabri and Arun Food, and we'll be back with more content soon. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Arunava.
Thanks, Rahul, and like, share, and subscribe as always.